I think we're good now. I think we're good. I just had to turn on my microphone. Ain't too big of a deal. What's going on, everybody? Anti-XO. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you here. Game Physics. Game Physics, welcome. Solo, welcome, everybody. Yes, we are on that Unreal grind. That's what we're up to today, anyway. My mic fell over, and now I can't position it to stay up. Yo, what's up, Unknown Waff? Welcome, welcome. After I figure out my mic situation, jeez Louise, that was loud. We'll get to animating. So I've been working on this scene for a little bit. It's the opening scene to the film. And it's been taking me a little while. I've been working on some other animations and stuff in between it. And getting other scenes done, but I'm like, you know what? I just really need to get this one buttoned up and donezo. So we are going to do that tonight. So let me get Unreal pulled up here and we will jump into it. But it's looking really good. So something that's interesting about this project versus the previous ones is this one was planned out. Which is a huge help, but it makes everything take a bit longer. One, just because there was a lot of time put into actually planning it out, but now that I'm executing on that, like, I can be a lot more detail oriented. So the end result is like definitely the best stuff that I've done, but it does take a lot to get it there, especially when I can scrutinize every little thing and see what the animation is looking like and have a little bit more control over it. Because when I was animating New Frontiers, I would kind of like animate an entire scene and then place my cameras in and try to figure all that jazz out. It was a terrible workflow. I do not recommend it. And then when I was working on the Red Dead short, that one was more performance capture based. So it was kind of similar, but it was because it was like the actors doing all of the action. And then I went in with a virtual camera and like filmed it for real. That one was a little bit of a different case. But then with this one, you know, there is a significant difference of me knowing every single shot, beat for beat, how everything plays out. So it's a little bit of a different, approach. Here, let me get my screen up over here. Let's see. Aha! But yeah, so you can see here, like, these are the animations from this scene. So every single one of these is just one shot, and a couple of them I had done for the trailer, so they're not in here, but like, you know, it's just like one moment and then like, you know, a different moment. And so we've been working on these on stream, off stream, and tonight we are going to finish up the scene because it's almost done. It's very close to being done, but to show like a good example of just how much better the animation is, this is a shot I did this morning. It took me like the entire no. Classic. Classic. All right. Let's get it back up. Why you be like this? All right. Here we go. So, in this scene, this is just like a single shot of the Helldivers reacting. Do it again, I missed it? No, preferably not. But I can focus a lot more on the lighting, on the camera, and the animation. So even a shot like this, just for context, if you watched New Frontiers. Also, look how good this looks. Look at this rain shader. It's so beautiful. But even in here, like when we get in here, I didn't animate the fingers just because the shot's so far away, but if you like look at the way that the characters are animated, like notice how he keeps his hands, you know, on his knees, his feet stay on the floor, his butt's in the seat. This one took a little bit longer because I had to animate the heads individually because my sensor, my motion capture suit broke. But like all that is like little things that were things that did not happen in New Frontiers because I didn't have the right rigs or the know-how to get it set up and working this way. But now I do, and it looks way cleaner. So like even here, like, you know, that arm looks weird from this angle because it's really supposed to only be viewed from here, but like even them sitting down, like, you know, it's got the right feel to it. And then it's like same kind of thing here. This guy's arm looks a little funky, but we're behind his shoulder, so it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, so it's looking really good. You know, working on it. We can pop back into the camera for this shot. But yeah, so we are going to keep working on it. This guy falls over. I animated as well this morning. He slipped and fell over, but I didn't do the slip part, like the him falling over part, because I thought that'd be more fun to do on stream. So I saved it just for this. Hey, what's up, Jazza? What's up? What's up? It's had a shot of Mount Everest in the background. Somebody knows what's up. Now we're saving that one. We're saving it. But all right, so let's get to animating the shot. This next shot we're doing, we will be working on this till it's Dunzo Bunzo. All right, let me grab my handy dandy cheat sheet. And get into it. Game physics. I'm working on making AI with behavior tree, but right now it's blend spaces and animation. That's got to be fun. Are you using the motion matching in Unreal, or are you still working in what is it called? State machines. That's what it's called. I'm curious to know game physics, if you're using the new motion matching or state machines. For those who don't know, so video games have used for many years something called state machines, which is basically like when you do an action in a video game, it triggers an animation and it waits till that animation is done to like trigger another set. So that's what game physics is using. So like, you know, if you had an like an animation of somebody like stepping forward and pulling out a weapon or something, like you could trigger those state machines one after the other, and like it's very robust. But motion matching is it was popularized. I don't know, I can't say whether or not they invented it, but Naughty Dog for The Last of Us, I think it was for The Last of Us, the new one, part 2. I say new one, game came out 5 years ago. But for that, they had motion matching, which is basically, rather than like you setting up a super complicated set of states that are like likely to trigger, that could either blend two animations together or just have a one go, stop, and then like play a different animation. It determines what the best what the best animation to trigger for the character is to make it feel more natural. And that's why like the NPCs and your character movement in The Last of Us Part 2 feels so realistic. That's why they move so naturally, is because it can guess and blend those animations into each other, but then also blend out of them without having to finish them. So it's very, very, very interesting. But I have not messed around with state machines either, or not state machines, motion matching. But I do want to figure out some possible. Oh wait, I don't even need the pelican for this. Haha, that is the nice thing about having this all planned out. But I do want to mess around with motion matching because I want to use it to record basically like not free motion capture, but kind of free motion capture, like animation, where like if I have like a, you know, like let's say I was doing a scene where I needed like, you know, 20 Helldivers all running and doing something wacky, right? If I could use the motion matching and just like run around and record that and have it feel like pretty natural, and those are just background characters, like that'd save a ton of time. That's actually something we're working on for this, using state machines instead of motion matching, but it's for the animation of the automatons. Basically one of our guys working on this has built out like an Unreal project of this where we can load in as automatons as like a playable character, and then move around. We can record that motion and translate that into animation. So that's something that we are working on for this to save time. So we don't need to animate every single automaton, especially for like backgrounds, because there's like, you know, entire armies of them at different points. So it'd be a lot easier if we could just have like a set of animations that they could just pull from, moving through a space, or, you know, attacking or doing whatever. Alright, so we're gonna want this to end before he gets obliterated entirely. That leg is not looking too good. So let's cut that off early. So this, it's part motion capture, part physics correction and ragdoll and cascadeur. Maybe we'll have them fall just a little bit more. And so for this shot, we just need to animate him kind of slipping and falling out of frame. Which I guess it's okay if he's like, looks kind of wacky once he's gone out of frame. But as you can see, this not a great position to be in if you like to not have your limbs broken. But we're gonna get him cleaned up, falling over, and then we'll finish up the scene in the next shot. I'm pretty sure it's the next shot because I animated the other one in between it. So after this, after this we get to animate him getting eaten alive by bugs. Poor guy. Spoiler alert, this guy gets eaten by bugs. If you're on the stream, you get to know that. Alright, let's see here. So I think big thing we're gonna go for here is the arms get a little jacked up, and we'll open up the hand some. Also, I have my window open right now. I've had it open all day because it has been very nice. But I just looked at the weather, and the rest of the week is supposed to be very hot, not very fun. But hey, it's been nice while it's lasted. For the little bit that it has. Yeah, around here it's been like in the 60s. Like 50s, 60s. Which is like what I call ideal weather. But it's supposed to get hotter, and then, you know, summer's on the way. And I don't know who sold the lie that like summer is supposed to be the best season, but it is not. Summer is hands down the worst. You cannot convince me otherwise. Except for summer nights, maybe. Sometimes there is a summer night that's like, this isn't too bad, but it's usually when the sun's gone. You know, before that, it's just like, nah, fam, this ain't it. Summer is the best in Norway. I believe that. I'm from I'm from the Northeast in America. I'm basically Canada. I'm from basically Canada, and summer up there ain't too bad. But after living in other parts of the country, further south, I'm like, nope. Yeah, game physics. I get what that's like. See, that's not too bad. I think it's where I am now. Everybody raves about summer, and I'm like, I do not get the hype. I don't get the appeal. Not around here anyway. It's certainly not like way down south. In like basically Mexico is where I was. I'm like, nah. Winter down there? Phenomenal. Love it. Summer up north? Way up north? Phenomenal. But all the way in the south? Nuh-uh. But late winter gotta be the worst for me. That's when you're just like, when will the snow end? I definitely understand that. Trust me, back when I lived with where there was only snow, you definitely get quite tired of it. I know the feeling. Especially when you like go into work every day and your car's just covered in snow and you gotta shovel out the driveway, start your car like 30 minutes before because nobody drives like decent vehicles up there. Everybody drives like a beater vehicle. And so you just wait for it to defrost. You chip out a little hole in the windshield so for you to look out of. And then you drive down the road like this. Trust me, I've been there. I do get that. I do understand. So for my friends in Norway or my people up north or my friends in Canada, yes. I can sympathize with enjoying summer up in those areas. Down south, though, people who think that summer is the bee's knees down south, nah, they got it all backwards. I love waking up extra early to shovel snow in the morning. Exactly. Actually, I had a friend growing up. He was from Norway. And he would talk about, he was like, yeah, I thought, like, you know, being in America, I would get away from all that. He was like, but nope, now I'm just here. Whoa, hold up. Brothers, foot IK is going off the charts. I just need you to fall down, brother. Yeah, you do gotta. So, crazy story. There was one time I had gotten like a crack in my windshield, because that's something that happens too. It's like if you defrost your windows too fast up there, you can cause your windshield to crack. So I had that happen, and I was like, ah, man, now I gotta go, you know, fix that, get that fixed or whatever. And I went like a couple months with like this crack in my windshield. Could finally afford to like go and get it fixed, right? Went and got it fixed. And I kid you not, the next day I had a coworker who was like, hey, can you come pick me up? You know, he didn't have a car. He was like, can you pick me up on your way to work and bring me in, whatever. I was like, yeah, sure, not a problem. Went and picked him up. And yeah, it does really suck. I do not, for whatever reason, have luck with windshields in my vehicle. And it's never like my fault. Like, I've woken up and had like tree branches through my windshield. You know, like driving down the road and like a pebble like falls off a truck. Like that kind of stuff. I don't know why, but it's happened to me with several vehicles. But I digress. I'll go back to my story. So I went and picked up my coworker, and we were driving to work. And it was the day after I got my windshield replaced, and it was dead of winter. So it was probably like February-ish, and the guy hadn't knocked, or there was a guy in front of me, and he hadn't knocked all the ice off of his car, and so a sheet of ice came off his car, like a huge chunk, and went right into my windshield. It didn't break, but I was like me and my coworker were like stunned for a moment, and he was like, "Didn't you get your your windshield replaced yesterday?" And I was like, "Yes, I did." And yeah, we were in shock a little bit on our way to work, but true, it is better that the windshield does take the rocks. Not complaining about that part, not by any means. I'm just saying I have terrible luck with windshields for whatever reason. I don't know why. Well, and see, up there, they have pretty strict rules about it too. Like, you can, I think it's like starts as like a $500 fine if you have more than an inch of snow on top of your vehicle or something like that. So you gotta like knock it all off. But it wasn't always that way. I remember, driving down the highway and there'd be like, these giant trucks that would just like lose, like they'd be driving and all of a sudden the wind would get underneath like a sheet of ice or a pack of snow and it would just blow it off the top and you'd watch it go like, 100 feet or so in the air and then come back down onto the highway. It's crazy. So then they started introducing a bunch of laws to like basically, if your vehicle has this much ice on it, like, the starting fine, it was pretty high at first. Up there, they are like, anytime they introduce a new like roadway law, like whoa, I did not mean to grab all that. Just your foot pole will do. Like they will crack down on it as soon as they make it a law, and then they like lighten up over time. But I remember texting while driving was a huge one. If you had a phone, if you were on the phone in your vehicle, like you got like whacked with a huge fine when they first did that. But they'd also send like helicopters out to monitor down so they could see people doing this. It's crazy. And you'd see them fly over the highway like constantly. It's crazy. Windshield manufacturers everywhere are conspiring against me. I know it. Yo, speaking of, I've been enjoying the I don't know how everybody else's like Instagram or TikTok feeds are, but Schizogram having a strong comeback. I get some wacky Schizogram videos from people just like off their rocker. It's crazy. All right. So the slip itself is looking pretty decent. The legs go whack. Legs go super whack. I'm pretty sure that's what it was up there too. It was like $1,000 fine. Something to that degree. When it happened, I did not care. I never really used my phone while driving anyway. I use it like for GPS now where I'm at, because like being back up there, it was like rural enough to where it's like there's really only like 3 total ways to get anywhere. So like, and you could usually tell just like you knew what day of the week it was, and it was like, it's probably gonna be busy going that way, so I'll go this way. But living in bigger cities, it's oh, thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying the music. Living in bigger cities and stuff, you just kind of need to have like GPS on to one, know what's going on, but then it's also just trying to reroute a bunch of people, and you can get stuck for a really long time if you're not using it, which sucks. I don't like driving that way, but it is what it is. See here. We'll probably shoot this on a 50, maybe a 28. I do be liking the 28 mil recently. It's been a go-to for me on several of these shots. Let's see how he's looking here. That's looking pretty decent. I feel like we should zoom. Actually, hold up. I think I might maybe we'll start close to him and then pull back. In Norway, you can use your phone for like GPS, but it has to be in a stand attached to the car, basically. Can't do handheld. That's really the way it should be. I'm not gonna lie. I do end up holding my phone most of the time. It's because my son broke my phone holder. This right here makes him look like he has cat ears. It kind of does. Ooh woo. I don't know. Yeah, there we go. The furry divers. I don't know if you guys have seen like the trend from like the I think it's a Japanese group. I can't quite remember. But it does like the what do you love? Like, I love this, but I love you more. It's like that thing, but it's I saw one that was like with dinosaurs. Where like it does them all, but then it does the Spinosaurus, which for those of you who don't know, for whatever reason, all of a sudden the Spinosaurus isn't cool anymore. The Spinosaurus was nerfed. And it's not looking pretty for my dino brethren. Hold up. Let me see if I can find the video. It was pretty sad, not gonna lie. How bad, how dirty they did the Spinosaurus. I don't think I had the video like super readily available though. I saw it a couple days ago, but man, oh man, was it a tragic day. Finding out that the Spinosaurus wasn't cool. I'm like going to all my friends. I'm like, who do I send dinosaur memes back and forth with? Now I feel like I'm on a mission. All right, I'll give myself like 10 more seconds. If I don't find it, that'll be it. So here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna find it. Sad. Aha! I found it. JK. All right, took me like 15 seconds. But hey, you know what? It'll be worth it. So look what they did to my boy, the Spinosaurus. Hold on. We'll change this up. We'll pause the music real quick. Look what they did to him. They changed him up so hard. Look at that guy. That's not the Spinosaurus that I grew up with. It's hideous. But yeah, so there you go. That trend's been in my feed for quite a bit. But yeah, no, I was pretty disappointed when I saw what they did. Hold on, let me catch up with chat. I was on a side quest there. We were talking about phone holders and cars, and then we got off on the Spinosaurus. Oh, it's because we were talking about the cat ears. It looks like cat ears on the Helldiver. That's what it was. That's how we got here. Hey, Ghosty, what's up? What's up? I love your Helldivers designs. They're very cool. I like when you post them in the Discord. I try to take a look. And sorry, I haven't. I know you sent me a DM. It is very hard for me to get back to Discord DMs because my Discord is either it's full of DMs or it's full of unread messages from the project that I'm trying to keep up with. So it's definitely a lot. Yeah, I know, right? Who decided to nerf the Spinosaurus? Terrible, terrible, terrible. I want to find that scientist and, you know, get him to change it back. Alright. Waff says he tunes in for the side conversations. That's where we're at, for real. Alright, this guy's leg on this side goes a bonkers. What's happening here? I think it's this keyframe. We'll delete it. What's the pole vector doing? I think it's because it's supposed to be making contact with the ground right now. And it's not. So we're just gonna pull it way down. We're just gonna ruin this guy's day. I feel like he should be looking more forward before his spine goes back. So like whole body forward, whole body backwards. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? How do you feel knowing that your movie will probably be better than the Sony Helldivers movie? Well, seeing as I get that comment frequently, it was every day for a while. I think that is like, one, it's partially like just like, you know, the fans are going to receive what the fans receive. For sure. I think the biggest thing with the Sony movie that is a mistake is that they're doing the what's it called? What this whole game's based off. Starship Troopers. They're doing the Starship Troopers reboot at the same time. And I'm like, pick one. You know, like they're like don't do both of them at the same time. Pick one because only one is going to do well. But you know, I digress. I'm making the best Helldivers film that I can. I can. What Sony does, that's up to them. Are they going to make the best Helldivers film they can? I am sure there's going to be somebody who is passionate about the game, who wants to make something special, and there's a very good chance that they get shut down. Like they get brick walled at every turn to not do that. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. Sony could do something, even live action for Helldivers would be great. I want whatever they do for Helldivers, I do want it to be live action. Because one thing that is like, that I find with CG anyways, is like, you can do like gore in CG and whatnot and have it look good, but like anytime I see animated gore or animated you know, like whatever, it doesn't like disturb me. It's more so I'm like, well, like that's cool, you know, like that looked great. But I feel like a Helldivers movie has to be, it has to have disturbing gore. You know what I mean? It's got to make you recoil a little bit. Like Starship Troopers did back in the day. You know, it had that little bit of, ugh, like, yikes or Rooney, what did I just watch? At some moments. And, you know, a lot of that was great prosthetics, just also combined with, like, you know, human actors. But I feel like if it's just animated, it's just going to be like every death is going to be funny. Every death is going to be laughs. That's what we're doing. You know? But I'm like, if you are getting millions of dollars, make it live action, have really good CG, and make the gore incredible. That's what I'm saying. Holy moly, you guys are chatty today. I'm loving it. I envy the people who feel okay just using Gmod ragdolls for stuff like this. Must save so much time. Oh, so I'm using, I mean, yeah, like, I'm sure that does save time. I'm using the ragdolls in Cascadier, which are helpful for saving time since I can animate it directly on the Unreal Engine mannequin. It just helps to like have that extra staying power. There's still something. There's something about his leg, which I don't want to go unbake this and you know, go and pull out more. But I think if I just pull his leg back down out of frame, I really wanted to like fall into frame, like he falls over and like the leg is like the last thing you see in frame kind of moment. But I'm also like, I'm okay with this. All right, and then let's fix the camera, because I think it needs to be more this way. Maybe not quite that much. And down he goes. All right. We got our guy animated. We gotta get this thing out of here. This thing's already out of here. What's it doing back? Get out of here. And let's go grab a Liberator rifle. And just also just like kind of throw it up. Let's see. I knew about your movie earlier. I'd be happy to submit my Helldiver veteran design. Haha. I really missed that opportunity. Hey, you know, Ghosty, you know, not everybody can be on every project, especially like when we, you know, like when we release a trailer and like a huge influx of people come in, like obviously a lot of people want to be involved. You know, it is also like at a point where it's like we get so far into production to where we can release a trailer like that, and obviously it's like very exciting. But there will definitely be more opportunities, you know, as we continue, you know, making projects and whatnot. Helldivers has a ton of traction. You know, it's definitely going to be our biggest project yet. But it's not totally tuned out for more. I'm not going to say more than that. I'm going to leave it at that for now, because I don't think I can say much more. But that's it. No Way Both. Didn't the Starship Troopers game launch around the same time as Helldivers as well? Yeah, no, it was wild. They came out with shoot, what was it called? It was made in Unreal Engine. They came out with some Starship Troopers game and it did not do well. It was like had a bunch of bugs. It had some cool technology built into it, but yeah, it was just not a good launch for what they were like what they were putting out. But it was also like, why would you put this out when Helldivers is so big right now? Nobody's gonna want to play it regardless. Starship Troopers already took an L from having the video game flop. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Also, just like Starship Troopers. Great one-off movie. I never saw the other ones. Elvis the Alien. I don't know if you guys follow him on YouTube. Great channel. He's probably my favorite like media commentator. He has a great video just about like Starship Troopers media and how much it fell off after the first movie. So that's great. And so he did like the movies, the games, all that kind of jazz. I'm pretty sure he did the games. But yeah, no, from like everything I've seen, it's like, why in the world would you know, like keep milking this franchise that the movie didn't even do well when it came out. It did well way later, you know? Like it didn't do like super bad at the box office, but like nobody really got it. It was like, because the only other movie that was like much like it was what's it called? Vietnam War movie. Full Metal Jacket. There it is. Where it was like, but Full Metal Jacket was like way different. But like, you know, that was like kind of a critical, you know, like look at like, you know, these different issues, but like also do it in sort of this lighthearted way in some cases. But like Full Metal Jacket was just like a very different kind of movie. And so Starship Troopers was just like, when it came out, people were like, what in the world is this? Like, who would want to watch this movie, and it didn't even really do that well until years later, when people were like, "Oh, like I get it," you know, haha, that's good. I see what they did there. But like how did that spawn everything that's happened with the franchise since? I don't get it. Like, who wants a Starship Troopers game? You know? And who wants a sequel to a movie that came out that long ago? Because it's not going to be good. It's not going to be anything like the original was. You know? I digress. Ark, what's up, buddy? Glad to have you here. And I won't tell York that you didn't get smart food popcorn today. My lips are sealed. Unless York is watching the stream. In which case, the gig is up. But, is this the same guy that threw the stratagem a few weeks ago? You better believe it is. That's I've been working on this scene for a little bit too long. You said that, and I felt myself recoil. I got old a little bit. But yes, it is that same fella. Same fella, font smella. As you can see, he's not doing super well. That looks silly. That looks goofy. Maybe we'll have his elbow come up with the rifle a little bit more. Just so, like, in the moment you can see where he would have lost it. Liberty will remember his sacrifice. All right, he's down for the count. That screen space reflection. Yeah. All right, let's get this bad boy lit real quick. Gun goes vertical out of frame. He falls, gun comes back into frame and lands on him. If the shot was that long, I would probably do something like that. That is funny. But that's the thing. Like, when I say this thing is planned out down to the frame, I can tell you how many frames are supposed to be animated by the end of this. The grand total, not like shots, like individual frames. There should be 66,209 frames. And this is the number of shots. 742. So, legitimately have this broken down, but yeah. Hey, Acceleration Nation, thank you for coming to the stream. Enjoy bedtime. I'll be excited for bedtime when I'm done animating this scene. But it was great having you here. You sleep good tonight. I'd give you a goodnight kiss, but I don't want to give you like an STD or anything. Not that I have an STD. This is getting worse the more I talk about it. Hey, what's up, Nick Gamer? See, Hey! Welcome to the stream. Dude, I gotta catch up on some of your videos. I've been a busy boy. I haven't had as much time to watch YouTube. I gotta catch up on your videos. I gotta catch up on York's videos. I am quite behind on a lot of YouTube stuff. Especially like when I have like friends who post, it's like the video at the start of the stream, like are a lot of people that like I either know through like the YouTube community or like friends of mine. Whenever it's one of their videos, I try to like watch the video in its entirety. Like actually sit down and watch it, because I want to give them, you know, like the support. But you know, unfortunately, like in the YouTube ecosystem that we live in, and like just with how busy I am a lot of the times, like usually like I'll have time to like watch like not even watch, but just like turn on like a Moist Critical Penguin Zero video in the background for a little bit, like while I make coffee or make lunch. And then that's like it. And then like now all my friends are like uploading these longer YouTube videos, and I'm like, I need more time to watch y'all's content. Every once in a while, like I feel like pretty good about like where I am animating, or like if I can like zone out while I animate, or like rotoscope or something like that, to where I can be like, yeah, like I'll throw their video up on the side and you know, watch it that way. But then, you know, like a lot of times it gets hard. It's hard to sit down and find that much time, especially when I'm supposed to be working on this, working, other life stuff, freelancing. It keeps me a busy boy. All right. Speaking of, I was just saying that out loud and I realized that one of my arm is wigging out. That happens sometimes. I'm not sure what it is. It's something that's always happened. I don't know, my arm just started twitching. What I was saying though was I got a friend who's streaming tomorrow night, and I just remembered, so I'll have to check out their stream when they go live. Alright, this is looking a pretty good, pretty happy with this all around. Pretty good looking shot, if I do say so myself. Yeah, and in sequence, that's gonna work. I think maybe his arm goes a little bit too far back here. Yeah, that feels pretty good. What do I do as freelance? What I do here? It's more editing and stuff like that. I do a lot of post-production commercial work. I can talk about it now. But I did some, like last summer, I did some post-production work on some Genshin Impact commercials, which was pretty cool. I'd never played the game, was never really into it, and then I got one of my producer friends called me, and he was like, "Hey, you're into video games, like I'm doing these commercials for some video game called," he said, he didn't say it correctly, but I was like, "Genshin Impact? You're doing commercials for Genshin Impact?" And he was like, "Yeah, you know what it is?" And I was like, "Dude, that's like that's the anime equivalent of Call of Duty." Like, and he was like, "Oh, really?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like, huge. And he was like, "I had no idea." I was like, "Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. So, like, congrats on getting the job." He brought me on to do some post-production stuff for it. So I did like the editing and the VFX for it, which it was a very tight turnaround. Their creative department is pretty cool. Those people were pretty cool. But it was a very tight turnaround, and it was like kind of a mix of a lot of different things, as far as like everybody just had like different ideas they were trying to bring to the table, and like even after, like, while I was like trying to work on the post side of it, like more ideas were coming in, but they were like super responsive, because they wanted to do like a couple things where they put like actors in the game. You know, it had some of that like live action Genshin Impact commercial cringe to it, but I was like, for the amount I'm making on this job, I don't care. The cringe did not bother me compared to the paycheck. So but the team over there, they were super cool. It was funny though, but because they're based in China and I'm in the United States, me and this producer were taking calls with them at like, it would be like 11 p.m. or midnight for me, and we'd be in the middle of a business call with them because it was during the day for them. But they were troopers, because when they did the shoot, because they shot it in Houston, Texas, which I was supposed to go to the shoot, and then some stuff came up, so I wasn't able to go to the shoot, and they had pushed the shoot, which was part of the reason why the post-production timeline got so messed up. But like when they did it, the team in China, the Genshin Impact team, they were like on the call, like as, because they couldn't, or they didn't want to pay for like somebody from China to come out to be on the shoot. So they did like a Zoom call, and like people from their team like stayed up like all night and during the day, because the shoot went overnight. But yeah, you know, they were troopers through it too. So all around pretty neat, cool stuff. And I haven't played Genshin Impact since working on it. On like the first call we did with them, you know, their creative team was pitching some ideas, and the producer I work with was like, "Oh, like, you know, Caleb's like, he loves video games, blah blah blah." And I looked into Genshin Impact some, just to get like, you know, a good idea of what the game was like and whatnot. And then after like working through like some of their ideas and whatnot, I was like, there was something was said at one point and they were like, "Oh, you play the game?" I was like, "Actually no, like I haven't played the game, but you know, I'll look into it." And like while we were on the call, I was like, "You know what's gonna just like make this seal the deal?" I was like, "I'll just download the game right now." And so I downloaded it while we were on the call. And at the very end of the call, everybody was like, you know, no. Like, it was good meeting y'all and whatnot. And I was like, and I just finished downloading Genshin Impact. Like, I'll start playing after this. And they all loved that. All right. So you might be wondering why I recorded this specific way. That's why. I'm just joking. I'm just playing you. So I recorded this way. Goodness, I got them EPIs. Because previously on my motion capture, I'll show you. So I'd done this originally sitting down, and as you can see, this is like where all the issues with the head sensor were were afoot. And I ultimately decided, I was like, you know what? Because there's so much intense head movement, I'd rather have that. And so what I did was, rather than sit down in my motion capture suit, I just stood up and bent over. So now I can take our guy, flip him on his side or on his bahooty, and get him set up properly for this scene. But now he also has the head sensor data, which is what I was more worried about, especially with the context of, like, you know, what this shot looks like. So you don't really see his feet. You don't really see like where his butt is making contact. We'll stick that to the ground regardless. But to me, I was like, it's more important to have the head movement than, you know, anything else at this point. We'll split the difference there. What I could do here too. Hey, what's up, Wasp? Welcome to the stream. Happy to have you here, bud. Wasp has been helping out immensely with this project. Absolutely goated. Now I can check out here, like, how did I record this? With Rococo motion capture, you have to keep your feet on the ground. Notice how I took my foot up for a second, and it was like, where did your entire body go? So you got to keep your feet planted on the floor as much as possible, or else it slides around like that. But Why hasn't anyone done a Super Earth salute transition to a single finger salute as a 500 kg or a hell bomb goes off? It's a great question. Why hasn't anybody done that? You could be the first. Alex, take that idea. Make it happen. I want to see it now. I don't have it in my script, so it's not happening in my film. But I still want to see it. I feel like that's very like music video. Wait a second. Didn't JT Music do that? Or something similar? Hold up. Yeah, 3 months ago. I'm gonna mute it because I don't want to get him coming after me. I swear there's something like that in this video. Gotta love the Galactic Armory. Helmet. I thought for sure there was something like that in here. Great video. Very underrated. Very underrated with 1.3 million views. Maybe not. Yeah, I guess they did it. Huh. I thought for sure that happened in that video. You did start a side quest. I am I'm a side quest kind of guy. I don't know if you're here for the whole Spinosaurus thing, but talk about a side quest. I'd have justice for my boy. My boy who was done so dirty. Let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead. So this is what I've been having to do, because I run into these issues where like I'll animate like with the constraints on this control rig, specifically with the Helldivers, where I'll do it and get things constrained and then it'll break. So what I've been doing is I'll run my constraints first and then kind of reverse engineer it, if you will. Exactly, you can't do the main quest until the side quests are done. That's what made the Mandalorian, the first season of the Mandalorian, so enjoyable. It was just a side quest. That lost some of the flair. It lost some of the flair. I don't want it to completely stop, but I bet you if I do the translation and not the translation and the rotation, it brings back that flail. The flail is back. I don't know why I'm talking like the guy who does the mug root beer videos. Mug root beer core. That's what I'm saying. First season Mandalorian. Great. I get that, Alex. I think it's hard too, just because it's like, you know, we don't have as much free time as we did when we were younger. So it's like when you want to do fun stuff, it's like all of a sudden, like, you know, can it also be productive maybe? So I don't feel as bad about it. I mean, that's like low-key what this kind of is for me. Is like, I can justify putting a ton of time into this as a hobby, because I'm like, hey, it makes me like $5 a month. We'll do the translation again. And we'll bake. Alright, now I want to try something a little bit different. We'll go to 60 frames with this fella. And we'll do the same thing. Only bake it to 60. And then when I do that, noise. It do be straight up on parenting it. Then maybe by the end here, we just pull it back in so his arm doesn't break. All right. So that feels pretty good for up to this point. So what I'm going to do now is I will bake this to an animation sequence. Because you see, why not? Jeez Louise, my spreadsheet's not working. I paste it in here, and then I do anim constraints. Now I can have this as an animation and not have to worry about the constraints specifically. Because this one did take a little bit longer, I am going to just duplicate, leave this 20, and just call this constraints, just so there's a copy that has that all that animation in there in case I need it again, but I doubt it. Because now I can use this one, and it'll keep our guy glued to the floor, and now we can animate on top of this instead, which will be cleaner. Cleaner. Hey, go enjoy your dinner, WAF. We'll be looking forward to seeing you when you get back in the club. You and Wasp should start a discussion about Titanfall. Just to boost my chat numbers. You two would go crazy. Alright. And now let's pick this up. Now we're going to get into the actual animation bit. It's not just posing in constraints anymore. We're actually animating. Guys, we're doing it. We're doing the animation. Wow. All this just to get the guy sitting down. That do be the first part. That's right, Wasp. Unknown WAF holds a at this time of year. Well, yeah, dude, don't you know they leaked Titanfall 3? Guys, literally, the Titanfall 3 leaks came out, and it definitely happening this time. Literally, Titanfall 3, we know it true because it came from a known leaker that they're making Titanfall 3. And there was definitely never been news about this ever before in the past. Like, literally, never happened. That's what I'm saying. Everybody's like, there's something at some point. Or somebody had said something. I was like, nah, man. This is just the, like, this just happens to be the one that everyone's talking about. But this happens every other week. Like, Titanfall community is fiending. Even they don't believe it, like, at all. Like, usually r/Titanfall has like a couple of desperate, like, but there's a chance it could be true. This time around, like, it got so popular and they were all like, it's not happening, guys. It's either that or well, I don't actually want the Titanfall that the current Respawn would make, because everybody who made Titanfall left. And to that, I just have to say, yeah, I get the sentiment. But, like, they're gonna do what they're gonna do, you know? Like, it's like, to me, there are only 2 Shrek films. I've never seen the other ones, except for the newest Puss in Boots, but that's not exactly a Shrek film. But I saw Shrek 1 and Shrek 2, and I was like, it peaked. It did its thing. It's been here. I'll rewatch that for the rest of my life. Never seen the other ones. That's why when the Shrek 5 trailer or whatever came out, and everybody was freaking out about it, I was like, who cares? There is no, like, what do you mean Shrek 5? There's only 2 Shrek movies. That was my legitimate reaction. I do kind of wish they turned the time mission into a full game, but I don't know what they would do to fill out 5 hours of that mechanic. Yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing that's what makes the Titanfall campaign good. We haven't played Split Fiction yet, but It Takes Two is another good example of, like, it introduces a mechanic. It's like, hey, this mechanic's a lot of fun, isn't it? And right when you peak, at how fun it is, they give you something else. They take it away and they give you something else. That's why the Titanfall 2 campaign is so good, because it's just constantly like, here's this, you know, here's a little treat, and that was yummy. Like, I'd sure love a whole meal of this, and it's like, you would not love a full meal of candy. You think you do now, but you probably wouldn't. But hey, guess what? Just wait till you see what we have in store for you. And it flows so nicely, and it does everything the way it's supposed to. That's what makes the Titanfall 2 campaign so good. I'm certain that when Titanfall 3 actually releases, nobody will believe it's real due to how many fake leaks there are. Agreed. I will not believe it until it's on my console and I've played all the way through it. Only then will I be like, alright, it might be real. When Duke Nukem Forever was announced, the three of us at GameStop just looked at each other and laughed and laughed. There you go. Yo, the Oblivion remake. I saw Jake Baldino's video about that this morning. That's kind of crazy, huh? I mean, again, it's like that is just as much of a leak as Titanfall 3. It's like, from what I understand for Oblivion, it's just the concept art that the studio who supposedly is working on it has done. But dude, there are so many studios that like are almost done with games that just get canned for tax write-offs because making a game is so expensive. And it usually, like, if you're a studio who has bigger games and you can write off an entire production of a video game to save something that is going to make you more money, like, of course they're going to do that. It sucks and it's terrible. But with that, there have been so many games that have neared that, like nearing completion, that are either remakes or, like a continuation of the franchise, that just are like, actually, you know what? People are still buying, the original game from 20 years ago, and we can write this off. So the nostalgia bucks aren't going to make as much as the tax write-offs. So exactly like Warner Bros. Also, hey, Ben Sidious, thank you for popping in the chat. Ben Sidious is our newest YouTube member. He is also, actually he's not in this shot specifically, but you saw his character earlier. He is the illustrious cheese diver we saw earlier in the stream. But he's the newest member on the channel. And if you want to be cool like Ben, then consider hitting that little join button and getting a little cool little dinosaur next to your name and a bunch of other perks, which I'm going to be rolling out more here soon for our different tiers. Just been in the thralls of so many different things, but I appreciate your support, Ben, and glad to have you on the stream. Warner Bros. Are the masters of shooting themselves in the foot. It's true. It's so true. My wife and I were just having a conversation about Warner Bros. The other day. Warner Bros. And Max, HBO Max. Oh, I don't get paid. I pay for the privilege to be part of this. Hey, you auditioned like everybody else, so you got the part because you're talented, Ben. Not because you became a YouTube member months after we recorded. But yeah, no, Warner Bros. Is like... I don't know what the execs over there are thinking. But it is not anything good. All right. This is when our man's gets his untimely demise. Which I'm thinking probably the best way to do this is like animate in the bugs, what we want the bugs to do in this moment. And then base his total reactions like off of that. We'll close up the thumb a little bit because he's not quite as excited as he just was. We'll open up the ring in the middle finger. Make him relax a little bit. And here maybe we'll tuck his thumb in. Before he yeah, that looks pretty good. I doubt TF3 is going to release anytime soon, and even if it did, I think it would be terrible. So many things have changed for Respawn as a company that I don't think they can pull off the same magic as TF1 or TF2. I agree. But I still want to see what they could pull off. I'm really upset that they stopped developing the Star Wars bounty hunter game. Like, that's like mad unfortunate. But you know, it's one of those. It do be one of those things. We do be living in these unprecedented times. Alright, let's see here. Torminids. Guys, we got Torminids. I don't know what happened with Star Wars Eclipse. Which one was that? Star Wars Eclipse. Side quest, here we go. Whoa. Hold up. Let me... What the whittly? Let me put this on my screen.
The biggest game they've ever made, and right now it is still in active development. IGN found out in the later half of 2023
Oh,
that the
I
game
remember
is
seeing
still,
this.
with the developers saying that it's just not ready, it's simmering. The game is said to...
I do remember seeing that. What does the website say? So it doesn't look like it's been canceled by any means. So that looks cool. Here's the official trailer. Dude, look at the deformations on that skin. I don't know if that's like actually in the game or if that's just for the cinematic, but look at that. The way the back muscles stretch, dog. That's what happens when your company's worth billions of dollars. You can put that in your game. Oh my goodness. This looks beautiful. This has to be all pre-rendered. There's no way this is in the game. This isn't Naughty Dog. Yeah, 100% just pre-rendered cinematic. Cool world building though. It's crazy stuff. So like a shot like this. Oop. Oh, it darkens every time I hit pause. A shot like this, like, and the fact that it looks better than like what the actual movies looked like in the 2000s is both funny and crazy to me. Wow. The only thing that looks kind of weird is the eye, honestly. And I only say that. I only like, it does look very, very good. Like, in a still frame, it looks great. I think it might be the lighting that's throwing it off for me. But it still does. That does. Like, everything in it. Oh! That looks so good. Wow. Look at them face muscles. Look at them lightsabers. Yeah, there's no way this game is good. You know how much it costs to make a trailer that looks like this? This trailer's 2.5 minutes, almost 3 minutes. Holy moly, look at the... I'm just like looking at all the technical stuff. Look at the texture of the paint on his skin. That's insane. But yeah, a trailer like this, easily like 5 minutes. That's what they call this one. Did Blur do this? Or Quantum Dream? Is Quantum Dream the game studio or the... They must be. They're listed down there. Not actual gameplay. Should have known. Should have known. Let's go side quests. It was a concept trailer. Okay. And it will come out, probably. Star Wars Eclipse and Knights of the Old Republic have both been in development hell for years now. It's not fair. For sure, but like a trailer like this, like what studio made the Star Wars Eclipse trailer? Oh, was it Quantum Dreams? Or Side Quest and Hard? 3 years ago. Wow, that was a while ago. Holy moly. That's crazy. But yeah, no, I guess it's been stuck. Quantic Dreams made games like Detroit Become Human, Heavy Rain, Indigo, Prophecy, and Fahrenheit. So they're probably making the game. They probably didn't make the trailer. Yeah, so this is just that's the Quantic Dreams is making the actual game. But the trailer, I wouldn't be surprised if it was blur. Blur. I applied at Blur a while ago. Not because I thought I'd get in, just because it's like, hey, why not? But usually they would have like something on their homepage. But I'm not seeing it. Speaking of Blur Studio, though, they do have a new Love, Death, and Robots coming out, which I'm very excited about. Very excited indeed. But yeah, I don't see that they did it. It just kind of looked like their work based off of that trailer. What was the all right, last side quest, I swear. Star Wars game set on Coruscant. Is that how you spell it? What was this game? 1313. Yeah, this is like, when I found out about this game, I was like, why would they take this from us? This game looked crazy. And it was like back when like these kinds of games were at their peak. Yeah, Star Wars 1313. Yeah. No, this is like the Star Wars game that I wish would have come out but never did. Very, 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 very sad. Yeah, Star Wars Uncharted literally would have been peak. Yeah, a great concept for a Star Wars game, and they just never did anything with it. But it's the same thing going back to where this conversation originated. Like, you know, why would you stop Respawn from making a bounty hunter game? Like, Titanfall as Boba Fett? That would have been fantastic. I think that's like kind of the sad state of like so many of these things is because you do have, you know, studios like that's actually a pretty funny one to have come up right behind him. I like that animation. I like it a lot. But we got next Star Wars instead. That's so true. I remember playing Connect Star Wars with some of my friends in like middle school, high school, and they had like, you know, they had like the kind of cool ones where like you could use the Force and stuff, but then the Dance Revolution or whatever it was version of Star Wars, that was peak Star Wars Connect. I feel like the only game that has like gotten like even close to like that feeling of like use the Force, Luke, is the VR game. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. But the one where you're like running away from Darth Vader and stuff. It hits like all the all the Disney, you know, like how to sell a game points. This will be good. Vader Immortal. That's what it was. Yeah, that game was pretty solid. I did enjoy that one. Look at that guy. He's just strolling. He's strutting. I like that these little guys are just like little cockroaches. Oh, this would be kind of funny. He just crawls out of the ground. Then I don't even need to, like, you know, do a hidden animation or anything. Just have bro pop out of the ground. Actually, that might even be funnier than this. We'll do this. we'll compromise. Whoa! Whoa! What are you doing? Why is this not? What are you doing? Why, oh why? He got them smooths. He's like, let me slide back here real quick. And then I'll attack. Maybe if I bring it to, oh, you know what it might be? It might be taking his last bone position. Nah, that's just not working. It's not doing what I want to do. Sad day. Maybe we'll have a different little guy crawl out. Because we need to get a few of these little guys. Oh, look at him. Do. Whoa, he's coming right for me. He did. Oh Lord, he did. I need something more violent. Preferably. Yeah. He's mixing his beats. I'll definitely need to use something like that. Some little guy jumping in. Just attack straight down. This is the worst part about working with game files is hash naming. It's terrible. That's all I have to say about that. But hey, it is what it is. We just out here trying to do what we do. Why don't you just keep this going? He just does not like this guy. I kind of like that. Alright, so this is what we're gonna do. This little guy, this little booger, he's gonna shrink way down. He's gonna go way out here and go under the ground. And we're gonna find our camera position on this fella. Which, the wasps in my backyard when I'm playing with my dog. For real, for real. I feel like a front-on shot kind of has its humor to it. Because, like... So, blocking-wise, I really should have used my left hand. But in the moment, I didn't think about it. But I think there's something humorous as well about being like dead head on. Because here the guy's all good. And then it's played by our illustrious Goblin Muncher VA. I think that was like the funniest part and the hardest part about casting this is like there were so many VAs where I was like, you are great. Your voice acting is phenomenal. I need you to play a character that the audience is convinced is like a main character just so we can kill them. And every voice actor brings that in their own unique way. And it just keeps it on the toes of like, who's going to live? And who is going to die? Let's see here. I mean, that was the nature of trying to finish this scene on stream. There were going to be a couple of minor spoilers. Just from the nature of it. So the main thing I'm trying to figure out is like I kind of like this too. I think this works better for the cinematography I've done in the scene so far. So we'll go from when thumb comes out. Message retracted. What did he say? We'll never know. I kind of like the idea of him coming into... Exactly. Every Helldiver brings that main character energy. And that was the whole idea. I was like, of course this character's not going to die. He's the main character. I think that's what makes it special. And again, I think that's like what was so funny with the casting was just like to you are the main character. Like that needs to be like who your character is. That's right, because Helldivers never die. Also, it is it's a voice actor party in here tonight. We got Costin in here as well. Look at how angry this puppy gets. It's not even fully animated yet. This is the first joke. Me with my dog. Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog? But this is like so I was worried about how this would play off, because it's so up to this point there's like a couple of like oh, it's just kind of like weird that they talk this way kind of moments, but like nothing up to this point has been like a joke. And when I wrote the script, the main character was the democracy we spread along the way. 100%. But yeah, this makes me really happy, because when I wrote the script, this opening scene, I wasn't sure about, because I was like, man, it needs to come off as like comical. Because it's like realistically, it's horrific, right? So it needs to like work as something comical, but like we can still make it gory. Like when I composite in all the blood effects and stuff, like it's gotta work both ways essentially. But I was really nervous because I was like, you know, like when my mom watches this, is she going to like see this and be like, that's awful, or is she going to like kind of laugh a little bit, And that's what I was wondering. I was like, is this going to get the laughs that it needs to, as like a, this is the kind of film this is what we're doing, okay. Because especially after this, oh, my brother's texting me about Black Mirror, another side quest popping up. I'll save that one for later. But like right after this, it's like a character like watching this happen, and he's like, I mean, it's Helldivers, so he's like, sweet liberty, the blood. And so like, it needs to work as, as that, while all these bugs come in and mutilate him. So we'll have one come in. At this point, there should be another one coming from the side over here. Yo, so Wasp, hilarious story. Because you mentioned your parents watching Starship Troopers. I grew up in, a pretty strict household. There were quite a few caps on what we were allowed to watch and whatnot. So, you would imagine my surprise when one day my mom comes back from the library. We used to go to the library a lot. Get stuff from there. My mom comes back. I'm like 14, 15 years old. And she's like, hey, Starship Troopers, like, you should watch this movie. I like the book. Like, one of those kinds of things. I was like, okay. Popped in Starship Troopers that night, or, like a night or two later or whatever. And I'm watching it. And I have two thoughts as I'm watching this. I'm going, either my mom is either she's definitely not seen this movie, or she's the coolest closeted mom. and yeah, it so turns out that when I was working on writing this and putting this together, I was like, my mom was asking me about it because I was like at their house for like Thanksgiving and stuff, and so I came over and was doing that jazz, and I was working on this project, and she was like, "So what is this? Like, what's the game?" And I was like, "Oh, it's a game called Helldivers, and you like it's based on Starship Troopers. Like that's what it's inspired by." And she was like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "Hey, by the way, once upon a time, you told me you brought Starship Troopers the movie home for me to watch." I was like, "Had you ever seen that movie?" And that's where I found out many years later, when I was finally comfortable asking, that she had no idea what was in the film. No idea. Of course, the first thing she went for, she was like, "There's not nudity in it, is there?" And I was like, a little bit." She's like, "What?" I was like, "Mom, this was like 12, 14 years ago." But I just thought it was really funny that like she based it entirely off of the book, which is from like 1956. I had no idea. Goodness, these guys have so many little animations. I just want to find one of it like kind of walking up into that position. Maybe we can blend it down from this. I think this is a repeat or just like a similar-esque animation. I shouldn't have closed that, but whatever. We'll just match this bone with the next clip on the Bosch. Why do the scavengers look so unusually big? They are actually surprisingly large, even in the game. That would be kind of funny, I think. The fella, he's standing right there. He's just standing there, menacingly. I feel like that'll probably be a good one to blend it out of. This is what I mean when I'm saying Like, there's a whole lot that is going on. I just want this one to blend with the next clip, and this one to blend with that next clip. What is going on? What is happening? I just want this fella to stay in the same place, know what I mean? But he's not. Ugh. Where did it all go wrong? If I do his hip. Nope. Maybe if I make this. Ah ha 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 ah! We got it, boys. Oh, we got it. Hot chocolate. Side number. My son loves the Polar Express. Any time of year, he wants to watch that movie. And I don't even understand. To be fair, he's a child, right? Children like their weird things. But I never watched the Polar Express until recently. And I was like, this you know, this ain't. I was not a fan. I was like, I don't even understand like how people would like this ironically, you know. All right, I think we can get one more scavenger in here. Ben, in regards to your question, are we still aiming for a 2025 release, or do you think it'll be a 2026? 2025 is still on track. I have been incredibly busy, but when it comes to the animation bits of things, I have some very talented people who have been helping out. So basically, like, I can do a scene a lot, not necessarily like quicker, because of it, but like I don't have to worry about like the most complicated animations in the project, because I got folks helping me out on that front. That being said, obviously there's still like a bunch I have to do, but part of this has also just been like I've been so busy with like stuff going on in my own life that like that has been taking an absurd amount of my time compared to what I will be able to put into this once that is all settled down. So yeah. Uh, on track for this year. No plans of that, like, changing at all. Where'd this guy go? Oh, he's on the move. Oh, he like hits a blend pose down there. But yeah, no, definitely still on track. I've just been incredibly busy with some live stuff, but once that is set, like, I'll be able to focus more time on this. But I've also, like, I've still been able to give it like a good amount of time, all things considered. It's just, I want to be able to give it every little bit that it needs, and with it being so well planned out, like, that certainly helps as far as, like, you know, knowing trajectory, what needs to be done. All right, this is too close. There you go. That guy can just be... Alright. Now we can make this guy's death nice and violent. Alright. So we're gonna jump out of here. And let's get to work. Hey, thank you, Wasp. And you know what? It is so nice having folks like you and the rest of the cast and crew, like, all on board with it. Because when I was working on New Frontiers, I kid you not, that was like that was lonely. I had a few friends come in because I wanted to, like, show them Unreal Engine and stuff. So I had some friends come in to help with like cinematography at one point. And I had like one of my other friends, like, early on, she came in to do some lighting stuff, and that was fun. Just getting to, because I hadn't talked to her in a few years, and got her to help out with that. But, like, other than those two instances, working with some cinematographers on certain scenes and working with the lighting designer slash like early on working with the voice actors, it was like just lonely me, you know, going in and starting animation. I didn't do, like, the YouTube thing, so, like, I wasn't even, like, streaming it to an audience. I was just like, all right, I'm gonna work on this until it's done now. And every once in a while I'd put out a video and people would be like, whoa, can't wait to see the final thing. And then I'd go back in my little hole. So having people along the way for this one definitely helps. Oh my. Oh, great heavens. That's how you are with audiobooks. Yeah, dude. It's like, I feel like anything creative, like, you know, it's one of those things where you can just fall into the lonely pit of, like, you know, you are doing what you're doing for like the creative means of it and whatnot, but like, you know, like all of that led to this, you know, like being able to do this with an actual community of people. So like that definitely makes it worth it. But there were definitely like times where just like on New Frontiers, it was just like, all right, here's lonely little old me. Yeah, that's the crazy thing with like even this project is like, you know, we show off with what I'm comfortable showing off on stream. I feel like that's another reason why it doesn't look like there's as much progress, is because like public facing, I'm only showing like specific things. Even this, like, I probably wouldn't have like done this on stream if I didn't make the stream about like trying to finish this animation tonight as like a motivator of like, you know, I need to get the scene done. Do I think I'm gonna get the whole scene done tonight? I don't know. Well, we'll see. This is definitely the more complex of the ones that I have left to do in this scene, but yeah, sorry. I suddenly got hyper focused. But yeah, no, the sorry again. I'm trying to make sure I'm not doing this too incorrectly, causing too many problems for myself. Oof. But oh yeah, like, you know, like even just showing off like this death, like it's not something that I wanted to like necessarily do on stream. But I think it's also like fun just to show you guys like, you know, what do be happening. Also, so many people in chat right now are like people who worked on this, so they already know like what the spoilers are. So anybody watching the VOD later and catching up, surprise, surprise. That's feeling pretty good. Let's see what it looks like through the camera lens. It's looking pretty good. I am going to don't tell YouTube when I monetize this later, but I'm gonna just drop one of these puppies in. If you are averse to go or look away now. Just as he initially gets, you know, bludgeoned. We'll lay that on thick. 100% wasp. That is why it's always fun finding equally creative and enthusiastic people to work with. I think that's what makes, you know, what's fun about the Plot Coalition stuff, like actually fun. I think the last thing I'm gonna do is I really want this hand right here to like shoot up very desperately. I think to do that the most impactfully, I'm gonna close his fingers quite a bit. And we'll do the same thing with his thumb. Open his whole hand up. I'll get back to you in a moment, chat. I'm just making sure I do this right. Make it look as clean as possible. Maybe we charge his hand up a little bit. Oh boy, this will get demonetized. LMAO. Hey, just tell YouTube not to watch 2.5 hours in. Oh man. That's great. Hold up. We gotta let the people of Instagram know what they're missing. Alrighty. Hey Instagram. We're live right now. We're live. We're animating on stream, and you're missing out on all this good stuff if you're not watching the stream right now. So if you didn't see the stream, go back and watch the VOD. Get caught up on the lore behind this animation. There you go. Fun little tiddlywink for them. I'll toss it up on the gram. They'll love it over there. I'll tag my my regular account too, so I can make all my friends guilt tripped. Be like, that's right, you guys aren't watching my stream. You call yourselves my friends. I kid. But do I? No demonetizers show up in 20 minutes. We are legally allowed to leave. All right, this is good. I feel good about this animation. I love the way it's looking. Just the way that attack happens. It's just a prank, bros. It's just a prank. The prank. Exactly. All right. Let's see. What do I have left to do? All right. So there's the reverse of this, and then there's 4 more shots. 2 of those shots are really just me going into Photoshop and making a screen for the camera to be pointed at. So those I'm probably not going to do on stream. Let's see. It's 11:14 p.m. I've been up since 5 a.m. because I woke up early so I could animate. Let's give the successor shot to this a shot. I'll start it. I'll see how I feel it. Oh, I said that and wasps saying CP-EP. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. I will fall asleep at my desk like the title implies. Ooh. Alright, we can do this. I'm doing this for all 12 of you watching right now. If you're watching the stream, please give it a like to motivate me to to do this next animation and be one step closer to making this Helldiver project a reality. You can help by liking the stream, and I will trudge through this next one. We can do it. All right. Here we go. Goodness. The good thing, thank you for all the love. Thank you. The good thing about... I just totally spaced. Have you ever wanna... Oh, yeah, about how... about how I'm doing this. The render times are actually, like, absurdly fast. Which has been very, very nice. It's extremely optimized. So it's super fast, but it's also super high quality. And I get to do it all in 4K, which is nice. Real quick, before we jump into this one, so that I can just go in and hit render when I go do that, let's throw a couple lights in here real quick. Because I will forget, and then I'll render it out, and then I'll be going in to do the edit, and I'll be like, why are there so many consistencies? And for this one, I'm just doing the same light that we did when he fell over. Same sort of lighting setup. We'll do a golden light in front. Whitish, bluish light behind. And then a bluish light to the side. Ooh. Fun little, fun little tidbit. Let's take this to the end here. I'll make this front light a little bit brighter. But we'll also make it significantly more red. So that it, you know, it just looks more evil. So it starts off like it just looks like the ship color, but then we can just make it more, a little bit more red as he's dying. Closer, and we'll turn up that source radius. All right, we'll put a spotlight behind all these little guys. All these little puppers. Move it right behind his head. So that as he murders our guy, it is just like chaos. Oh, maybe I'll turn down the camera exposure too. Maybe not down that low. I can't remember if we were at a 4 or 4.5 before. But we're at 4.5 now, either way. And finally, a little bit of blue light is all I need. There we go. There we go. Feeling pretty good about that. We'll turn on easy rain for a second. See how it all do be looking. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. It's perfect. I love it so much. Alright. Now we can go back to the other shot. Whew. I'm getting them itches. Sleepy eepy. What other topics are going on? Yo. Are the scavengers meant to come out of the ground, or is it like a mini breach? So it's more like just kind of hiding where they're actually coming from, so it can be more of a gag. The one guy you can kind of see coming out of the ground, but I think he's gonna be before the edit happens, because I do need to put a couple of frames for it to like simulate capes and stuff. So I usually put a couple of quick handles for that sort of thing. So it's either going to be that, or it just happens so fast that, like, yeah, it's not even quite noticed that they just kind of like pop in. But it's supposed to be kind of like one of those like almost like a horror movie trope, where it's like, what? How did he get right behind you? You know, that kind of thing. Oh man. Ugh. That eepiness is getting to me. That eepiness be hitting hard. Alright. Let's at least get the characters set up. Up. Wasp, how could you do this to me? Gotta hit him with that Jar Jar Binks sound effect. Alright. Let's at least get our characters set up in the animation timed. And then I'll probably have to call it. Because I got a full day of work tomorrow too. I got 49 VFX shots that are supposed to be done for a video that I have like 3 more days to work on. And that alone is going to be like a nightmare. Which means I should probably get a little bit of eepy sleepy. But let's at least get this the animation poses set up so we can feel good about it. Alright, we need Helldiver 3. Helldiver 1. Helldiver 2. And hey, it's your boy, Ben Sidious. That's Helldivers 4. They all have real names. It's just easier to number them. Easier to keep track that way. Good night, Ben. Have yourself a good one. Yeah, we'll get this timed out. That'll put us like right at 3 hours too. That's a longer than usual stream. Today's just been such a fun one with you guys. Yo, also the timer is gonna run out, so you guys have 4.5 minutes to hit the donation goal if you want to hear me sing California Girls, which, with as sleepy as I am, probably be a hoot. Because if you didn't know, Katy Perry was very brave and went to space. And she, from what I've seen, looked at a flower the entire time. Even though she was literally in space. Could have been looking at anything else. Instead, it was much more poetic. There's a certain degree where I'm like, how much of that is just green screen? Who knows? Alright, my guy flails around with bugs all around. Alright, this is where I'm going to find out where the real headache might lie. Does this have head sensor data? It better. It better. Oh my word. I don't know why it does this. But like when I put my hands on my head, on the animation it looks fine. On the mocap, On the Helldivers, though, it puts their hands behind their head, and it's so funny. It's like, sweet liberty! Everybody do the chicken dance! 90% of the time, it's the last take or the second to last take that I like the most. It's doing a Chad pose. Sweet liberty, the blood! In fact, I gotta do one of the previous ones. I do like this. Sweet! Sweet liberty! The blood! Alright, so trim that left. This is probably going to end up being a mistake. Sweet liberty! The... Split selection and hold please. Hold while I reroute you to the next available representative. Sweet liberty, the blood. Alright, so we'll trim this. Do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Sweet liberty. I'd love to. And one day, he could be a Helldiver. And you could too. Because remember, kids, patriotism is the only way to fight fascists and cure communists. Oh, did we run out of time? Nobody wanted to listen to me sing California Girls. It's okay, the internet wasn't ready. California girls were undeniable. Daisy Duke's bikinis on top. Ha! Doing it anyways. Anarchy. It wasn't about the money. It was about sending a message. Alright, that feels good enough for now. I'll probably double check it morning or whenever I get back to animating this. My throat's also getting sore. That's concerning. Oh, this one. I made the character throw up at one point. I just started throwing up. It's just like, that's kind of funny. To be like, oh man. The little head shake. See how this one looks like. There we go. When your best friend is being ripped to shreds. Bugs. All right. And then this guy. We'll do him reaching out. It's so funny with the stiff capes too. It looks so goofy. Absolutely silly. Dare I say ridiculous. All right, let's clean this up a little bit. Trim selection left. Trim left. Trim left. Is that everybody? Alright. Well, so everybody is gonna get on board the Pelican next. They're gonna get on board the Pelican. This guy is going to flail around while he dies. I have to do quite a bit of like constraint and like hand keying, like especially for the grabbing the head, the fingers, all the finger movement. When this Helldiver like starts like coughing, like at first it's gonna be like a hand out, then it's gonna be like and then like the other guy, he's like he reaches out and then he turns to the other Helldiver. It's a lot of hand key animation going on. I hop back on a while later and you're still awake. Get some rest, man. That's what I'm about to do. I'm just kind of like saying what the next. It looks like they're doing the Congo or something right now. But yeah, I think I'm gonna set the two shots that we did animate up to render. I'm gonna render those out and go to bed. Because as the stream name suggests, I say until I I'll finish animating this scene or fall asleep. And I'm very close to just falling asleep. And yeah, I'd rather just do that in my bed. So but it's been a good time. Thank you so much to everybody who stuck around to be a part of the stream. Bear! I feel like I haven't seen you in so long. Just came here. How's it going? It's been a while. I've been here on stream or anything like that. Bear, it's so good to see you, man. So good. I'm actually just now wrapping up, so feel free to go back through and watch what was watch what we worked on today. It's some pretty fun stuff. We are gathered here today to mourn the stream that sadly came to an end today. The stream was an inspiration to us all and will forever be fondly in our memory. May it rest in peace. Hey, you know, just got to get a little bit of that rest and then we'll be back at it. But yeah, I'll be finishing up this set of animations soon, and then I want to put out a video as like sort of a status update, let everybody who knows, who doesn't join the streams, kind of what's been going on, and get them all, you know, hyped on it, and I can continue to work on it. But like to be able to show some progress, I think a lot of people would appreciate that. But part of that progress comes from hanging out on these streams like you guys do every Thursday. I am so stoked to have had you all here. If you want to become a member, feel free to do so. It really helps the channel out. But if you're just here as a viewer, hey, I am just happy to have you around. All that being said, I am going to go to sleep. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week.